Right now, a strong wave of anger and organized protest has come from Igbo groups across the southeast. Leaders, unions, and community organizations in Igbo majority states are publicly demanding the immediate and unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. They say his continued detention is unacceptable and that his legal team and communities have been failed by repeated delays and adjournments in court. This push for Kanu's release has been loud and visible over the last days, with statements, demonstrations, and formal letters to national authorities calling for action. Because of that demand and the way events have unfolded, many Igbo groups have made a deliberate decision to step back from participating in National Independence Day events and other federal celebrations this year. They frame this step back as a form of peaceful protest, refusing to take part in a national celebration while a leader they see as wrongly detained remains in custody. This decision is not just emotional, it is political and symbolic. Organizers say it is meant to draw attention, to signal that unity requires fairness in the justice system, and to pressure federal authorities to act. Let me be direct and simple so everyone understands. This is not about ordinary celebration plans or rivalry. It is a strategic move by groups who feel they have exhausted normal channels. They are using visibility, withdrawing from national ceremonies to demand what they call justice and fairness for a man whose trial has been long and contested. At the center of the issue is whether the courts will finally handle his case quickly and transparently. Several recent court events, including rulings that he does face charges and adjournments of hearings, have added urgency to the protests. People are watching the courtroom timetable closely, and every adjournment or rescheduling adds fuel to the public conversation. This action has stirred discussion across the country. Some national commentators and civil society voices have expressed support for a fair and speedy trial. Others warn against any steps that could deepen divisions between Nigeria's regions and ethnic groups. Some traditional and political leaders within Igbo communities say their goal is legal remedy, not confrontation. They are calling for unified peaceful pressure so that the rule of law is respected and so that grievances do not become a wider crisis. Now, let's break down what this means for ordinary people. In plain language, you can share with friends and family. First, when a whole community pulls back from a national event, it is a message. It says, we don't feel represented or heard. So the immediate effect is political pressure on the federal government. Second, it is a test of institutions, the courts, the presidency, and security services. If authorities respond with transparent legal steps and clear communication, tensions can ease. If responses are opaque or heavy-handed, the mood could deepen into longer protests and wider unrest. Third, while most organizers are pushing for nonviolent action, any large sustained demonstration risks local friction. That is why community leaders are stressing calm and legal channels while demanding answers. Remember to like this video and subscribe for more updates like this. It helps spread clear information. We also need to be clear about context. Nnamdi Kanu is a well-known and polarizing figure. He leads a movement that seeks greater autonomy or independence for the Southeast, a movement that traces its memory back to the Biafra War of the late 1960s. His case has gone through many legal turns. Arrests, a period out on bail, an escape from the country, a later arrest overseas, extradition, and renewed trials. This history feeds emotion on all sides. For many Igbos, Kanu is a symbol of resistance and a focal point for long-standing grievances about marginalization. For others across Nigeria, his campaign raises fears about national unity and security. That history is why the current calls for his release have resonance beyond the courtroom. Let us look at how different actors are responding right now. Igbo unions, youth groups, and some traditional leaders are united in public statements asking for a fair trial, the release of medical records, and quicker judicial action. Local governments and governors in the Southeast have been asked to press the federal government and to protect peaceful protesters. On the national stage, some civil society groups, including Nigerian and diaspora organizations, have urged calm and legal steps, saying that the rule of law must guide the next moves. Abroad, human rights-minded groups and some diaspora networks have also raised questions about the legal process and urged transparency. What this will look like on the ground in the coming days, expect well-organized, peaceful rallies, petitions, press conferences, and targeted symbolic actions, such as reduced participation in national activities. Organizers are careful to say they want to avoid violence. They want media attention and legal pressure. At the same time, security services will be on high alert. That can create tense moments at checkpoints during processions or near official buildings. Because of that, ordinary citizens need to stay informed, avoid areas of protest if they prefer safety, and follow verified news sources for instructions from local authorities. Now, some of you will ask, could this lead to something bigger, like a permanent secession move or serious breakdown in national unity? Right now, most leaders pushing for Kanu's release are framing their actions as protest tactics, not a declaration of permanent separation. However, the symbolic withdrawal from national events is historically charged and must be handled carefully. If government response is conciliatory and follows the law, pressures are likely to diffuse. If the government responds with dismissive or heavy-handed measures, protesters will feel vindicated and movements could harden. So the coming days are crucial for de-escalation through law and dialogue. I want to repeat, please like this video and subscribe so this message reaches more people who need calm, clear coverage. Share it responsibly. Let us also talk about the voices opposing the Igbo withdrawal. Some national commentators and politicians from other regions see the pullback as divisive. They argue national celebrations should bring people together, not pull them apart. They worry that politicizing a national holiday threatens unity and could encourage copycat moves by other groups. Some commentators point out that nations heal through inclusive dialogue, strong institutions, and equal opportunity, not through boycotts. Others say that ignoring the grievance would be equally dangerous. These are genuine concerns on both sides, and they show how sensitive this situation is. Stay with me, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Next, what do legal experts say? Lawyers and constitutional scholars stress two things: adherence to due process and the importance of transparent courts. The legal message is, if the prosecution has evidence, it must be presented openly. If the accused is entitled to medical reports or fair procedures, those must be respected. Several recent court decisions and scheduling changes are central to the public's frustration. The judiciary's handling of the case now will shape public confidence in justice across the region and the country. Independent observers are calling for full access to court records where possible and for the process to be seen as credible. For families and daily citizens in the Southeast, practical advice is to keep calm, follow local leaders' guidance, and avoid participating in anything that could turn violent. Use community channels to confirm information. If you are a business owner, consider contingency plans for supply and operations if large demonstrations affect transport. If you are a student or worker, your safety is priority. Know the public advisories. And of course, break now. Like and subscribe so we can send updates directly to you. Now, let us consider the federal government's options. The federal government can choose several paths: accelerate transparent legal proceedings, offer a mediated dialogue, or hold to a strict law and order approach. Each option has trade-offs. A transparent legal timetable and openness about medical or legal records would reduce suspicion. A mediated dialogue that includes neutral observers could calm tempers. Heavy-handed security measures risk amplifying grievance. The smartest path is one that respects courts, permits a visible legal process, and engages local leaders in constructive talks. That would reduce the risk of wider unrest and restore confidence. Economically, this moment is sensitive but not yet catastrophic. Short-term disruptions, local transport slowdowns, event cancellations, reduced market days in some towns are possible. But the longer-term economic risk appears limited unless protests widen or become prolonged. The best outcome economically is for leaders on both sides to focus on legal clarity and dialogue. So businesses, schools and services resume normal operations quickly. Let's be clear about what ordinary Nigerians across all regions should watch for. First, official court notices and verified court transcripts. Second, official statements from the Presidency and Justice Ministry that describe next legal steps. Third, public statements from recognized Igbo community leaders and traditional institutions. Fourth, neutral reports from reputable news outlets and independent observers. Avoid amplifying unverified social media claims. If you value calm and accurate information, follow verified channels and this channel for reliable updates. Please like and subscribe. It helps us reach more people who want calm reporting. Now, some practical Q&A you may be thinking about. Is this withdrawal permanent? Likely not. It's a protest tactic designed to force dialogue. Will it lead to violence? Organizers say no. They stress peaceful, lawful action. Should other regions mirror the move? That would be a dangerous escalation. Most leaders are urging dialogue instead. Will the courts react quickly? The courts have shown a mix of decisions and adjournments. The public wants faster, clearer outcomes. What can ordinary citizens do? Support peaceful, lawful channels, keep informed, and avoid inflammatory social media posts. Let's also take a moment to reflect on history and healing. Nigeria's past includes a devastating civil war, and memories of that era shape how communities react today. That history makes every move more emotional and sharper in consequence. It is why dialogue, legal fairness, and careful, respectful public leadership are essential. If Nigeria is to move forward, leaders must combine justice with nation building, stronger institutions, clear protections for civil rights, and meaningful inclusion in social and economic life. At this point, you may want immediate updates. I will keep watching the court calendar, official statements, and reliable outlets. If the federal government releases a schedule for hearings or if the court issues a decisive ruling, that will change the conversation very quickly. For now, the situation is a serious, peaceful protest by Igbo organizations demanding the release of fair treatment of Nnamdi Kanu, and it is shaping the tone of national discussion around unity, law, and fairness. Please, if you find this helpful, like the video and subscribe. Share with friends so they get clear, calm updates. If any of you are in affected areas, stay safe, follow local guidance, and avoid taking unverified reports at face value. Before I pause to check for more updates, I will leave you with a few closing points in simple language. This is a call for justice made loud by a community that feels ignored. It is symbolic but powerful. The risks are real if leaders do not choose the path of law and transparent dialogue. And the best outcome is a fair legal process, open communication, and calm. If that happens, tensions will ease. If not, the protest will grow louder and could last longer.